Hello, and welcome to the Zooming Hoosk Podcast, and I'm your host, Dustin DaHusky.
And I'm Kurdan, Sourpuss.
And we got a few interesting subjects today.
You know, I noticed something.
What?
Before we get into it, I was listening to a few of our podcasts, and I cannot hear myself at all.
Really?
Yeah,
Like in general, or just...
my volume is so low compared to yours.
Because mine is high-pitched, because for some reason...
Not just high-pitched, you have high volume.
Aw.
And the mic picks up on that. The mic does not pick my voice up at all. Because I remember one of the intros, I lean real close into the mic, and I'm like, I'm Kurdan Sourpuss.
And it didn't pick that up.
You can't hear me at all.
Really?
I've turned the volume all the way up to hear me.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, wow. It's basically you and the mumbling poos. So I'm making a mental effort to speak louder.
Aw.
Like, I can't raise my tone up, but I can try to speak louder.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am staring at an incredibly loud poos who's got a very serious face, and it's terrifying.
I'm not serious. I'm smiling.
But it's cute, though, too. It's like, I want to talk loud. Meow! And so like,
Meow! 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 I
I
said meow. Right meow.
Right meow.
So yeah, I'm going to try really hard to make an effort to speak louder. So hopefully, I never read comments, so if anybody's ever said anything like, Kurdan Sourpuss, we can't hear you at all.
Meow
I'm
loudly.
so sorry.
Aw.
My apologies, guys. I'm going to try really hard to speak loud.
The only time that I ever listen to a podcast is I only go back to it to only listen to the talking points, because I tend to forget what the hell we were just talking about at the end of the show and putting it on YouTube. So I only go every 30 seconds or every 5 minutes or whatnot just to hear what we're talking about, and then put it down in the chat or in the video box description.
Yes.
Beyond that, I never listen to these episodes again. Unless there's something specific that people say, oh, hey, you got to do something about this. Like, oh, okay. But beyond that, I actually do not listen to these podcasts after they're submitted, because they're meant for the audience. But the resident Poos has listened. Which episode was that?
I think it was the very last episode. It was 37.
Oh, really?
37 or 36.
Oh, okay.
Right now, I just did the voice that I do normally.
Yeah.
It's so funny because, when I was working...
I am going to point the microphone to Poos because he might need it.
When I was working in hair, at a salon,
Yeah.
all the women I worked with, because it was me and a bunch of women, every one of them said, Joe, I can't hear you. Your voice is too low. And I was always thinking it was too low, low.
Your balls have dropped on the floor, low. Yeah.
No, it's my volume. My volume, my tone is okay. My volume sucks.
I'm actually trying to get more quieter.
Ah.
Because my volume, as what many people tell me, is way too loud, so I tried to talk a lot more like you, actually. I'm trying to get to your level of volume for voice, because I realize, you know what, that is kind of annoying.
So is not being able to be heard, though.
Aww.
If people can't hear you...
Aww.
And
our voices suck.
Yeah, my voice sucks. I know mine. The one person that I do idolize as well, Cooper Tom, has got a fantastic voice.
I like Uncle Kage's voice.
Uncle Kage's voice is good too. But Cooper Tom has just got a great speaking voice.
I gotta say Pandez.
Pandez does as well. Alkali does too.
Xander has a great voice. But
You know who has a really good speaking voice?
Who?
Chris the Comedy Bunny.
Yes. Yes, they have a fantastic speaking voice.
Yes, I love
especially
Chris's voice.
on their shows.
Yes. Yeah, I love Chris's voice. It's not too harsh, but it's loud enough that you can hear him even without a mic. This is a great voice. But Cooper Tom, he got bashed recently on Twitter.
No one heard that.
No, I didn't hear it. Cooper Tom got bashed by some attention-seeking whore somewhere.
Some fox.
Some fox somewhere that was like, hey, your voice just sounds the same for every character you do, and it just sounds dumb.
What?
And I'm like, dude, don't try to get attention off of bashing someone who is beloved in the fandom.
Oh, yeah.
And not just beloved. That guy works his ass off. Like lately, especially within this past year, the VR chats that he's been setting up with people,
Yeah.
phenomenal. I mean, so much to the point where I want to get VR.
I think it'd be fun to get VR too. It's just, it'd be a lot of money, a lot of know-how.
But
I'm sure once you understand the gist of it, and I'm sure because technology shouldn't be that complex.
Yeah.
Like our last episode of technology is supposed to make life easier. If I can understand it, oh yeah, I would certainly love to do VR once here and there. Because I figure with pandemic, not going to go too much into it.
I'm not going to get into it at all.
I feel like VR chats will likely be a staple. I think they will. Maybe for the next few years, but I can see this being a staple for a very, very long time. And will only gain in popularity. It's much like Second Life. But I just never really, to me, my thought is I should never have to complain about someone else's voice because I'm not too happy with mine. Me in person sounds okay to me. I'm happy with my voice in person. I am fine with that. It's only when it gets recorded online. For some reason, the microphone only picks up the high pitches.
See, I don't think you sound, to me, it's because of our ears. To me, your voice doesn't sound any different here than it does when I listen to it on the podcast.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, it sounds almost a little bit better. We don't hear ourselves the way other people hear us. Like right now, I think that I'm being loud, and I'm probably just being normal volume. I feel like I'm yelling.
Yes, actually, I am not used to hearing your voice at this level.
Yeah, so I'm really trying to make a strong effort. I had an argument with somebody at work the other day, actually last Saturday, and it was me telling them I'm not going to do it. And I thought I was yelling. I really don't think I was yelling. I was probably just talking in normal voice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just funny.
I think it's all about being confident with your voice. It's unfortunate that although for me, like you mentioned, I never thought of this before, but our own ears hear different things.
Yeah,
on different
we don't
formats.
hear ourselves the way other people hear us.
While to me, speaking to you, my voice is my voice and does not cause any alarm for me. It's just when I record it electronically, you know what? I hear a different person. It's not me in my eyes. It's someone entirely different that for me is unfathomable, but I'm looking at the person in front of me and it is me. And to think, wow, did I sound annoying growing up?
I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
I'm just always screaming, Hoosk.
And today's episode is brought to us by
Aloe Vera King.
the king of aloe.
The king of aloe. Wallow in a tub.
Have you ever seen an aloe leaf?
Yeah, actually, my mom's got an aloe plant.
Does she?
Yeah.
We sell the leaves at work.
Really? Yeah, my mom's got an aloe plant that is decades old.
It's got a chunk.
Oh yeah, it's actually got some pulp in it. It's not bad. It is a nice tasting. It is a nice tasting drink. Where this is more like Jello, or like jelly. I recently I've been going on an Asian drink kick, and I don't know. I might maybe head over to. The Poos does not like the mango.
No, I do like mango.
It's just you're not used to the pulp.
I wasn't expecting that. It was a chunk. Yeah, the plant leaves are about this long that we sell.
Yeah, this isn't so bad. And you have mango, and I just have aloe drink, and you know what? It's not bad. And I figure it's good for you.
What was I going to say?
You were talking about voices.
Oh, the plant leaves,
Oh.
the aloe vera plant leaves, about 1.5 to 2 feet long. Somebody else who has a good voice actually hates his voice as well. Wolf, who's not here with us tonight, but
Right.
Commander Wolf's voice, his voice carries in the mic from way over there.
Oh yeah.
But because of the tone and volume,
We can hear him perfectly.
we can hear him fine. Mine, I'm less than I'm about a foot and a couple inches away. At my old volume, still couldn't hear me.
You know who there are two people in this fandom where you can pinpoint them anywhere in a convention center. That regardless of where you are, you can absolutely hear them. And I kind of feel like this can relate to me because my voice carries. It travels by volume, and which in that regard probably makes more sense. Because my voice does carry. It'll carry through cinder block for some reason. Would be Alkali and Uncle Kage.
Yes.
You can hear their voice in a controlled manner anywhere in a convention. You could be dropping a deuce in your hotel bathroom and then hear Uncle Kage whispering through someone on a stage somewhere in the convention, and you can hear him. Sorry, Uncle Kage, I've used you as that kind of example, but you know what? It had to have been done. Or, oh my God, should I? The yelling. I don't know if I want to say it.
Say it.
Oh my God, the screaming moans of alcohol plowing so many twinks in a hotel room, and you are like on the dance floor for a fursuit dance competition. You can hear that in the background, but you know what? You can hear it distinctly being them.
Yep.
Those are two voices I can point right off the bat. That's like, oh, I hear them. I can instantly identify as being them. Now just for ordinary locals, I would have to say our friend from Ohio, Punk Cat.
Oh, Punk.
And you know what? Out of any person in this fandom that has, I think, the best radio voice.
He does have a good radio voice.
I think Punk Cat has the best radio voice in this fandom.
Someone else.
Unless someone can prove me wrong. If you've never heard or met Punk Cat, he has a great voice.
He does. He is someone that should probably censor himself sometimes.
Oh God.
Only, and I don't want to say whoever it was at whatever. I'm not even going to say the name of the convention.
I know exactly what you're talking
But
about.
there was a convention somewhere, and Punk Cat would not stop going on about somebody bringing a dog
To a convention.
and he kept saying that this person did not just bring the dog there as a companion.
Right.
He kept saying that they were having sex with the dog.
That they didn't bring a companion, they were bringing a bed companion with them.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And I was just like, I had to leave. I couldn't
No,
beat it.
you actually asked them flat out, how would you know about this? How can you tell? You were actually being up front
I was
with them.
probably...
Because I remember you telling him that to him, saying, how can you tell if it's... If
I was probably drunk, to be
You may-
fair.
You're very upfront when you're drunk.
All my inhibitions are gone when I drink. So
But then you become sideways low.
keep track of that, just in case anybody out there wants to, but, yeah, I think I did ask him, and he embellished on it.
Yeah.
He
He embellished on it because I was actually there. I was with you, and I was overhearing it. I wasn't with that conversation, but I could hear you and Punk Cat talking. I must have been at least like five feet away.
yeah.
And then I heard something about, oh yeah, well that person didn't bring that dog just because they wanted to. They're doing other things, and you were like, well, how can you tell if that's actually the case? And again, he was like rambling on. But that man loves to talk more
He
than
does.
I do, to the point of losing his voice at the end of the convention. I have yet to actually do that, except for maybe one time. And if I get enough panels going, then maybe that will be me one day. But I have finally met my match with someone who can out-talk me. And I'm trying to control that too by not talking too much. I have just decided just not talk at all. But Punk Cat's got an awesome voice. Xander the Blue's got a fantastic voice. Dragor, I like the way how they speak too. Pandez, he absolutely accentuates his characters that he's that he describes in his open mic and stage performances. He is fantastic at bouncing back and forth on that.
He is.
And then, of course, you've got Uncle Kage, the classic. Alkali is just loud, but that's because of his job. I could be loud because of reenacting, because you've got to shout a lot and this and that, but... Actually, no, I actually do scream. I screamed so much that I lost my voice one weekend. Yeah.
I have to say, there's something about this.
Uh-oh.
It's a palate cleanser. If you drink a little bit of this after a beer, and then go back to the beer,
It's an entirely new experience.
the beer tastes like beefy. And this is not, this is Bud Light. It does not have a lot of,
I'm going to go off on you on that.
it really does. I mean, it's like, wow.
Oh my god. Wow. That is totally a palate cleanser.
Yeah. Aloe, like if you want to cleanse your palate and you don't want to eat like ginger. Is it ginger that we eat when
Yes, ginger, yes, for like sushi.
Yeah, for sushi.
To cleanse your palate after eating one type of sushi and then going after another.
Aloe can very much do the same thing.
So I think I made a transition about games somewhere. Or I don't know if I did about voice, about your voice and then game or something. I can't
Doesn't
remember.
matter. You don't have to do it.
But anyway, let's actually go into some role play. Well, that's
We're gonna role play.
no.
I'll be the cat.
I will be Hoosk. I'm talking about RPG
Okay. Yes.
games. And you play Final Fantasy. No, it's not Final Fantasy.
It is.
Oh,
It
okay.
is. You're right.
And that is very much ye old fashioned sword in hand, leather or chainmail breastplates, armor.
Yep.
You have your halfling. You have your... I don't know if you have dwarves. Do you have dwarves?
Nope.
No.
Well, no. We have a dwarf type of race.
Why don't you go over the different classes and the different races that are in Final Fantasy? Because it seems like an interesting game, and you even got my polecat brother to play it.
Yeah, he's hardly on there though.
Right, because I don't know. Well, because he's in school and whatnot.
He is. But... Plus, he's busy playing. What is that game? Genshin something?
I don't even know.
Something Genshin.
I don't even know, because it's just a polecat thing.
Hold on. Genshin RPG. No, it's the action RPG. Maybe it is. It is an action RPG. Genshin RPG.
So what is it?
No. Something Genshin.
Anyway, let's actually keep this rolling.
He's obsessed with Genshin Impact.
I still don't know what that is. Explain.
It's a action RPG.
Never heard of it until now.
Yeah. That's what he plays. He's on there a lot. Anytime you hear him say, "No!
Oh my God! We can hear him in this part of the basement from down here."
Oh my God! I mean, that's him playing Genshin Impact.
What we thought he had an explosive orgasm turned out to be him playing a game.
Yeah, you expect to walk in on him with a what's the big
body pillow?
Yeah, a body pillow. No, it's just him and his computer fully clothed, playing a video game.
With him very fully clothed.
I wouldn't be shocked to find him with a body pillow.
And knowing his characters, each boob must be its own pillow.
Yeah, I mean, his mouse pads have turned from butts to boobs.
Yeah. And it's of his own character, too,
yeah.
So he is resting his wrists...
on his own boobs.
On his own boobs, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Which,
shout out to Amica Pole.
On Twitter. And that is my actual brother.
Yeah. But yeah, I do play Final Fantasy 11. I've been playing it off and on since 2002.
Oh, that long.
Yeah. Because it's been out since almost that long. I started during the U.S. release on PC. I had friends that played it on their PS2, which PS2 is no more. And because of the way the game was set up on PS2, it's such a big game that you had a hard drive with your PS2.
Really?
An external hard drive. But it was only I want to say a 20 or 30 or possibly even a 40 gigabyte hard drive. But because of the hard drive limitations and the fact that the game lasted so much longer than the developers ever anticipated, the game itself actually ran out of space on the very console that it was released on.
Oh, really?
So they had to end support on PS2 and force all those players to switch to PC. Which, I mean, you don't lose anything. Everything that you have on your character is just brought over from...
It's pretty much an account.
Right. It's in the game itself at the central server. Because, and this is the one game that I know that does this, players from all different consoles could all play together on one server. Xbox 360,
in one realm,
PS2, and PC all played on the same server together. And I've never seen another game do that. So, honestly, props to Square Enix for that. I mean, I see other games do it, but there are different servers for different platforms.
And probably different world markets.
Basically. Like the other game that I play with the little fat husky.
Yeah.
That his name is Dustin.
Yeah.
They have that game on a PS4, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it's a different version of the game, different server. So no console gamers play with the PC gamers, which is probably a good thing because there was always a lot of not good vibes.
You mean console bashing or just...
Yes, console bashing, definitely.
Oh, really?
The PC elites.
The PC Master Race.
Yeah, PC Master Race. I was never one of those, but I've always played on PC. Only because I've been a PC gamer so long.
Right.
So in the game that I play, Final Fantasy XI, there are Elvin, which is the tall, skinny guys with the pointy ears.
Okay, so then... Okay.
Hume, which is their human race, but they just call them
Hume.
Hume.
Ernst Humes!
Then there's the Tarus, which is the little halfling, short little guys.
Aw.
Like B. Cosby is a halfling, or Taru.
Aw.
Which everybody is always shocked when they see that my character... They didn't hear that.
No, you didn't hear that.
Or that.
Or that.
I hope... Does it pick those up?
We'll find out.
Does it?
I have no idea. We'll find out.
Okay, we'll find out. We'll check. Then there's the cat race.
There's a cat race?
There is a cat race. I don't play as a cat because you can only play as female.
Aww.
And I want to be male. And there's only apparently one male cat person.
Does he still play?
Well, he is never a playable character. It was just a built-in character in the game.
So that is a lot of used dick.
Yeah.
Like,
they referenced that in the storyline. Like when they saw him,
yeah,
the women all went nuts.
There's male versions of us?
Yeah.
I want his penis, and then they go after him.
Yeah, they did.
They went after Spike.
They looked like climbing over each other to get to him.
You know,
Yeah.
cats have a Spike, but at this point he is so well used, he has no barbs anymore.
Oh.
He is now smooth.
I think he still has barbs.
Oh, okay. So his barbs are very, very resilient to a massive
I
amounts
hope
of
so
use.
for his sake. So the cat race is called Mithra,
Aw.
and they have tails
Aw.
and pointy ears
They have tufts.
and tufts. And then they have the big giant...
Jugs.
No, the other race. The jugs are okay. The other race of the game is the Galka, which is the big, like... What did you say earlier? You were asking me if there was a...
Oh, dwarves?
Dwarf. That's basically their dwarf race. They're big. Probably the biggest characters in the game, in the playable characters in the game. And that's all for races, I think. Yeah.
That's interesting.
And then the classes that you can play as there's a lot. There's warrior, there is thief, there is white mage, which is the healer class, black mage, which is the black damage, the heavy damage, the elemental spells.
Okay.
And then red mage, which is kind of the halfway in between both. white and black.
Hmm.
Red has been, what do they call that? Dubbed the, what is it? The Jack or something. What was it? What's the Jack of all trades, master of none. Is it the right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, you actually
phrase?
got that. Yep, you actually got the phrase right.
Yeah. So they're not really a master of anything, but they definitely can do a little bit of everything.
One of my coworkers at work asked me about that, and I said that in response.
Yeah, jack of all trades.
And master of none.
Master of none.
And they're like, you know what? That seems pretty fair.
It's kind of an insult, but then it isn't.
It's not far off from that beaten path.
It's kind of just like it's just a little bit of shade with a little bit of truth.
Yes, there is a bit of sunlight to your shade. There's realism to that, because if you're really skillful at something, you're going to be doing it a lot.
Yes.
You don't become just a swordsmith because you're also a plumber. You focus on your trade to become a swordsmith or a weaponsmith or what have you. Yes, you can be a fighter and be a weaponsmith or whatever, but to really hone in your skills, you could be a good warrior but not know how to make weapons, but you can be a good weaponsmith and not be a good warrior. I mean, they both go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And if you are both a warrior and a weaponsmith, you spend half your time making weapons and half your time fighting.
Yep.
And you're probably not going to do either one better. So.
What else is there? There's thief. There is ranger, which is the ranged attack person. Beastmaster, which you can charm different monsters and use them to fight with you. There's a lot, and they've released so many more. And it definitely references other Final Fantasy games, but they don't coincide directly. There's just a lot of familiar characters in there. The chocobos.
Oh, the chocobos!
That you can ride is in there. And then beyond that, well, that and Sid. Sid is the only character that they will bring from every game. They somehow figure out a way to fit him into the new universe each time. He is the inventor of the airship and just all-around handyman that somehow always falls into the new storyline. And they always call him Sid. He always looks a little bit different from game to game. But, yeah. It's an addictive game. The character you see me play as, he's a paladin, and his role is to keep the monster focused on him so that the monster won't kill, like, a white mage who's wearing nothing but a robe.
And maybe a G-string.
And probably a G-string under the robe.
With his incredibly flat ass.
Yes. So, when are you going to start playing?
Me?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know, because I'm either on the computer a lot or I'm not. And with games, I love my card games, I love my board games, I love my tile games. So I'm very much a physical player, if you know what I mean. Online gaming, one of my folks erroneously threw out my Windows 98 tower. That was the last time I've ever gamed on my own volition. And to this day, I'm still looking for a Windows 98 tower that I can play games with, which Liliaroo has graciously given me one of their working laptops. However, now I have misplaced my Windows 98 games, so I have to look for them before I can see if they will work on this computer. Which, if this thing's got a good enough video card, then it might do the trick to get me back into gaming. Only when Windows 98 PC gaming. Call me a hipster all you want. It's what I grew up playing, and I never really grew out of that.
I love retro gaming and retro gamers.
Yeah, me, it's all of the games that I played are all 90s. So it just reminds me of youth a bit. And Panzer Commander, my favorite game. I don't think you've ever actually seen the game in play except that one time on Furry Bob's laptop that he gave me with a broken display.
I've watched videos of it as well.
And really, it's not that bad for being just polygons.
Oh, no. I mean,
it's really not that bad. It's just, it's outdated, but you know what? Until World of Tanks came about, there was no other game like it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about polygons is, my game's polygons too.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Just more of them.
Yours is more smoother.
Yeah. I mean,
Mine's a bit more rough, but luckily the tanks of World War II are all flat-sided, so
Yep.
you know what? It didn't matter.
Yep.
Perfect. You can see that the road wheels of every tank is always a bit flat on its radius. It's almost like a dodecahedron sort of effect. It's not a hexagon in terms of quality. It is very well made. It's just it was still very much polygonal for its time. But what I wouldn't mind actually getting myself into, and it's something that Alkali has slowly, indirectly pointed me to this direction in gaming, is to experience what it's like to play D&D. And for many years I've never really cared about wanting to play, but I thought it sounds like fun, although everyone's definition of fun is different. But it's kind of like Cards Against Humanity, where if you have any kind of player who's kind of off the cuff, you could probably have a very, very fun game or very, very fun campaign of D&D. And I want to learn more about this game because I'm more curious. I don't know what it's all about, except in following Dungeons and Dragons from Alkali and Xander's YouTube channel, The Dragon Show. And 23 episodes in, and I'm just really liking the idea of D&D. I think it's really fun, although I'm talking about players who've been playing D&D almost as long as I've been alive. So, but I don't know, to me it just sounds like a lot of fun, and watching you play Final Fantasy has that same aura, except you're playing through the character on a screen.
Yes.
Whereas D&D, you're literally with a table with 4 or 5 other people doing a campaign. And talking to a lot of my anime friends. Now, I have a lot of furry friends. In fact, I've been in this fandom a lot longer. Most people didn't realize, but in college, I met a lot of anime cosplayers, so I got to learn more about the anime fandom. And talk with some artists, and most of all their business almost tends to be making character sheets for D&D players, which I think is pretty cool. Most non-furry artists out there, when they make art that is humanoid in nature, they tend to be for commissions on characters of D&D players, which I think is fantastic. It's one thing that you are a furry. You have a fursona. You know what you look like. And as a D&D, what is that?
What?
Is that a mail-in ballot? Oh, it's a tree survey. Oh, never mind. You are writing on a dead tree if you think about it.
I know. The irony there.
But the idea of wanting to play D&D for a while has grown on me a bit. Even our friend Briggs, good old Briggs Buckingham. The more you say his name and what his persona is just even more funny.
Yeah.
But he actually bought a D&D guidebook 1 or 2 years ago. I don't know if he bought 3.5 or 5.0, or like the editions of D&D. Of course, the older players would rather play 2.0 or Pathfinder. I'm not a total nerd, but I'm a nerd of everything, so it's fun to get into more interesting stuff on a broad scale. But even Briggs decided to read up more about D&D and whatnot because he was curious, and I don't know, I might maybe approach him later about it to see what he thought about D&D and whatnot. But as far as playing video games, give me some time, perhaps, yeah. But I'm a fan of board games. I'm a fan of card games. And, of course, the tile game here and there. But it'd be fun to do something a little bit more different with RPG, but there's not many people that know how to play that or want to play it. And, of course, with pandemic going on, it's very hard to get a group of people. So, I've picked a horrible time to wanting to play D&D, but who knows, maybe things might improve. I know that Alkali tried to play Lupus and Tabula over a email. Have you ever played the game Werewolf?
No.
I've only played it a few times. The only reason why I don't play as often is I have a horrible poker face. Because it's all about being a poker face when you're the werewolf. So there's a werewolf, the seeker, the villagers, and there might be another player. Or no, the owl or something like that. And pretty much the villagers are trying to find the werewolf, and each turn is a night. And every night it kills someone. So, I don't know, you're more likely better off to look online to know how to play Lupus and Tabula or Werewolf the game. It's actually a fun game, it's just you have to have a good poker face to play.
It sounds a lot like Let's Kill Hitler.
Yes, it's exactly like that. In fact, it is. You know what? It is exactly like it is Secret Hitler. Well, I may as well buy a werewolf game just to say that we have one.
Yep.
But we will have to have more players because it's fun with more players.
Yeah.
But Alkali, once for an entire year, or for many years, tried to play an online tag team of werewolf. It took him 1 year to kill one person.
Wow.
It's insane. And normally, you'd be done with a game within like 10, 20, 30 minutes.
Right, because eventually people, what do you call it?
You eventually win the game by process of elimination and
Thank you.
whatnot.
I couldn't think of the phrase.
However, everyone is waiting on an email from everyone else, and it may take a while before they get back to you.
Yep.
So, he ended up playing a game on email that lasted longer than a year, and it took him almost a year to kill the first person. Which is insane. At that point, it'd be almost not worth doing, but apparently they were able to get as far as that. So that's kind of my thoughts. With some of my stimulus money, I decided to buy a few rule books and a starter pack just to get myself immersed, just to see what it's all about. And you can buy character sheets, like to build your own caricature or your own character sheet. You can buy these sheets as templates online, or not even buy them. You can print them out. So really, just kind of go online and find what you want. And if you really, really wanted to, you could get art of your character, which is a fun aspect of it. So, I don't know. I enjoyed being a nerd, but now I'm entering a new level of nerd I never thought I'd go into, but nerd's a good thing. Life is more fun being a nerd than being a total square. Or a jock.
I agree 100%.
And nerdy jocks. Ooh. But life is more interesting being a nerd than being totally disinterested with the world, because I can't imagine anything more depressing than not caring about anything and just going about in life. It just seems more like a waste. But again, some people are like that.
One of the women that I work with is always checking her stock. She plays the stock market.
Oh, yeah.
And she was just sharing inside information with me that sounded interesting. I honestly don't know that I ever would play the stock market because it's a gamble.
Yes.
Just like any other kind of gambling.
It's like any kind of game. You're going to lose or you're going to win and you don't know.
Here's a fun fact. My dad had an opportunity to invest money in the 1970s in Microsoft.
And he passed it up. Mr. Fred would be swimming in a lot of money by now.
Mr. Fred was kicking himself when he found out.
How much?
Yeah.
Wait, recently or back in the day when he realized?
He realized, because he started with the fire department in the 70s, all the firemen bought stock in Microsoft, except for Fred.
Oh, poor Fred.
Yeah. And it was probably in the mid to late 90s when Windows started really
taking in form, being a powerhouse and whatnot.
Yeah.
95 and 98.
That's when the stock went sky high. And he could have made bank.
He could still make bank, because I don't think that stock has really dropped all that much since. Eventually, most stocks kind of plateau after a while.
But that's the thing. You want to invest money in a company that is growing.
Right.
Which is why I asked her if she had any money in Walmart, and she said not really, because it's not really growing at all.
That's true.
But it is, though, in a gradual sense.
Right. Oh, that's why
because
it's kind of
Walmart is
plateau.
A global corporation. Global.
It's an evil octopus.
It's an evil global corporation. Each country has a corporate office.
Except Germany.
Probably.
Because didn't you say that Germany closed all of its Walmart stores?
Probably.
Because people are like, what the fuck is all this shit? And they went to their local stores instead.
Probably, yeah. But Walmart in Canada is run completely different than Walmart in the U.S.
You kind of have to wonder if the Walmart in Canada is like more
It's
human.
better.
Really? I kind of expect that.
I believe they pay their employees better. They employ better benefits for people.
They actually make them into more careers up there than we do down here.
I think all countries do.
Besides us.
Besides us.
And I forget if it was in the Netherlands or in Denmark, but the minimum wage, although, again, this is countries that are doing things differently than we are.
Better.
McDonald's employees are getting paid in our money if you do the stock, the money exchange rates and whatnot.
Yep.
But to make it an equivalent, they are making $21 an hour in either the Netherlands or in Denmark at McDonald's.
Yep.
Which, now, I never would think, and I'm not going to job shame because everyone needs when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. when the only option you have left is fast food, just to make a paycheck to pay for rent, you got to do what you got to do. So I'm not going to shame anyone for working at fast food. But if I got paid $21 to flip a burger, I'd probably do it.
Yeah, me too.
Because it is the most easiest job you can do. And I don't know much about McDonald's, but to me, compared to all the jobs I've done in the past, I'd be shitting my brains out by stuffing my face with all these burger patties. But also, too, just the simplicity of that is McDonald's. I don't expect that job to be that complex. I am going to be driving people as a career, and I am fully responsible for every human being on my bus. So I have actually reached a heightened sense of I am responsible for more than just my own life for once.
Yep.
So it's a huge step up. But hell, fuck. If I get paid to flip burgers or put pickles on a burger for $21 an hour, I'd be a lifer. I don't know about being a lifer, but I wouldn't mind doing that. Yeah, things are done differently all over the world, but it just seems like in this, not really surprisingly, things are done differently here too, the point that rugged individualism has to take shape, even though that rugged individualism in this country is kind of like the whole reason why people are pull yourself by our bootstraps. Yeah. And, hey, you gotta take what you get, okay? Oh, man. I mean, I don't mind the struggle of life and whatnot, but life should not be this hard. It's meant to be hard, but it's not meant to be easy, but, things what's going on around here, they're not that easy, and it's not really getting any better anytime soon.
Yeah. I had a thought.
Go for it.
Go back to McDonald's in other countries. Do you know the menus at other countries? McDonald's is completely different.
Oh, yeah, and I've experienced this firsthand in France.
What is the menu like in France?
The portions are a lot smaller. They don't really have the Big Mac. They have a Royale with cheese.
What's a Royale with cheese?
It's literally not their smallest burger. Let's say a number 9 meal in the United States is the 2 cheeseburgers plus fries.
Yeah.
So you're literally talking about the 2 little small burgers that you'd get. The single patty, the buns, and maybe some chopped onion pieces and a pickle. And then the mustard and ketchup and that.
Right.
That's pretty much what we think of that. A Royal a Royal with cheese is a cheeseburger. That's got some lettuce. That's got some onion. That's got some pickle. And that's about it. But it is a better looking burger. It's a bit bigger, but it's not as big as a Big Mac. I was going to say Whopper. It's like a different chain.
Whopper. What's the Whopper?
I want a 4 cheese Whopper and a big ol' orange belly wash.
4 cheese Whopper.
It's 4 cheese. Was that 4 types of cheese? Or 4 layers of cheese?
4 different layers and types of cheese.
But having been to, well, of course, Europe, because, the resident Hoosk is French. And very, very rarely in France do we actually eat out. The only reason why we eat out is if we spend an entire day walking around in Paris, and there's no time, unless we are out for lunch, then that's one thing. But you know what we tend to do for lunch in Paris? We eat out at restaurants, not at fast food. We only do fast food if we're on the run. Just literally like going from point A to point B on transportation and happen to just get hungry. It's not happened once. I would say for every trip we may only have done McDonald's maybe 2 or 3 times in maybe 2 months of visiting Europe in 1 year. And you know what? Their food is less greasy. It's actually still very, very tasty. You can buy beer in France at McDonald's. You can buy yourself a glass of beer in a French McDonald's.
Some McDonald's here as well.
And they're starting to do that more. Taco Bell is supposed to be doing that with their menus.
Yep.
To make themselves more a restaurant than just fast food, which I'm going to be very honest. Taco Bell is dead to me, because you know why? They got rid of the quesarito.
No, not the quesarito.
I like the quesarito. And you know what?
What's the quesarito?
It's like a burrito and a quesarito. It's got sour cream, lots of cheese, lots of rice, some meat, onions, tomato, and what the hell you want in it. And you know what? In 2020, in April of 2020, not McDonald's, but Taco Bell revamped their menu, and that's the first one of 2020. There was a second one in like summer or fall of 2020 that they were revamping more and got rid of Taco Bell pizza and whatnot. It's like, oh come on, that's like another popular item that they sold. When they got rid of it in April of 2020, it's like, you know what? I'm not going to Taco Bell again, and you know what? I've not been to a single Taco Bell since. And I can be fine with that.
The funny thing about that is I'm sitting on a Taco Bell gift card from your aunt.
From how long ago?
From last Christmas.
Is it even any good? That's the thing.
I don't know.
You can try, but it may not be... I don't know. Gift cards should be like not unlimited in amount in currency, but I would say as long as you don't use it, it should still be usable. But I know some cards expire after a year, or even 2 years. But yeah, to me, if you have a gift card, use them as fast as you can, because you may not know when the next time you'll actually do it. And when you do, you'll say, oh, well, I can use the gift card another time.
I also have a Starbucks gift card that I still need to use up.
Go for it. Because Starbucks is not bad. Like, people rat on Starbucks because, what are you, hipster? You and your soy latte doing the little hearts in the cream or in the foam. I'm going to have a picture of Baby Nut on mine.
Baby what?
Baby Nut. From Planter's Baby Nut when...
when they killed the Mr. Peanut.
Yep. Which apparently now Mr. Peanut's back. So that was an odyssey, I guess. I don't mind Starbucks, but now they don't have the mint Java chip, which was my favorite iced coffee from Starbucks until they discontinued it. Kind of sad, because that was my favorite. It's like with Taco Bell. Once you remove something I absolutely adore the most, and if you get rid of it, you're not getting my business anymore. Unless someone gives me a gift card where I'll go in with their money. Besides that, I will refuse to buy something that they don't have anymore that I like the most. If General Motors through their Chevrolet division was still selling Cavaliers, who knows? I might actually buy one, but they don't, so they are not getting my business. Well, this is actually an interesting topic. What is one company that decided to do something that goes against your well wishes as far as what you like about them? They eliminate the very thing that you like the most, and then you stopped supporting them because of it. Any companies come to mind?
Not really in that aspect. I can't eat Burger King.
Why is that?
Too often. Because their meat makes me sick.
Aww.
It's a lower grade quality of meat.
That's surprising.
the flame broiling makes it taste better than it actually is. That's how that company has managed to stay in business. They use like Walmart quality ground beef. It's just not great. There was a time when I was younger, much younger, Puss, probably my 17, 18 years after I started driving, I would go to Burger King like once or twice a week. Every time I'd get food poisoning.
Really? So even back then?
Yeah. So I just stopped going to there so often.
The Puss had Burger Kinged himself out.
Definitely.
To me, when Taco Bell had its quesadillas, I think at least once a week I would still get like maybe 2 or 3 quesadillas to munch on for like a day. And you know what? Oh my God, was just tasty. Oh, fuck. And then they got rid of them, and then it's like, you know what? No, that was one thing I actually really enjoyed about their food. And now that you got rid of it, it's like, I don't see a need to come back here. And all the other stuff that I liked from them also got removed from their menu. It's like, you know what?
That's just sad.
Corporations do their own thing. They want to revamp their market and their chunk of the market and what they want to go for. Hey, be my guest, but you will alienate so many people who prefer the menu that you had before over the menu you have now. Vegans were even appalled at Taco Bell when they eliminated the bean burrito. And I've had their bean burrito, and they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Just loaded up with tomato and onions, some peppers and whatnot. Oh my God, is that good? Some sour cream and cheese, even better. And you know what? It just doesn't seem as interesting as it was before. And I don't go out for fast food much. I still try to eat at home. The earlier stages of 2020, we cooked inside every evening, and that was fantastic. I ate McDonald's for the very first time, and holy cow, it went right through me within 20 minutes. I was surprised. Just made me remind myself that, yeah, fast food is good in a pinch, but what does it do to yourself?
Yeah.
It just kind of ruins you a bit on the inside.
Stuart from Mad TV.
Yeah.
His mom makes him say something whenever he says
Vagisil. No, I don't think it is.
No.
It's actually a cream, right?
Yeah. No, there's another one where he's like, what does Mama say about fast food? And of course, Stuart's like, I don't want to say. It's like, what does Mama say? Fast food gives you a fast death. That stuck with me forever. Like,
Wow, that is some serious thought right there.
Yeah.
THOT. Because you know Stuart is a thought.
Yeah. Whether the actor got sick of playing him or not, it was an iconic character too.
You have to wonder if it was like a latke of sorts, where he enjoyed it until someone kind of like...
Well, they did a very self-aware like anniversary thing one time. They talked about playing a 4-year-old boy for like 7 years of his life, and how he felt like, I don't know how he put it. It was funny. Something about at least you don't play a 4-year-old who walks around saying, "Look what I can do," for 7 years in a row.
Yeah.
But he definitely wouldn't be where he's at
without it.
Without that character too.
It's much like Andy Kaufman and Latka.
Yep.
Without Latka, I don't think anyone would pay attention to him.
Yeah. He would have been less
relevant.
He wouldn't have been a relevant actor.
Oh, he'd be very, very irrelevant. We would still know him to some degree, but he will never be as known as he was.
Yeah. I can't imagine him now. Because back then, he didn't want people to be in on the joke. And you look at where television has gone, all the reality TV and everything, it's still all very scripted and acted. Even RuPaul's Drag Race is acted. Those drag queens are not really handed a script, but they're handed a premise. Here's something to think about when you go out there and do your thing. You know, they plant seeds in their head so that when they go out there and then these judges ask them questions or something, or they're talking and interacting, they have got a premeditated thought in their head that they probably would have never come up with had the producer not handed them this sheet of paper saying, this is what's going to go on.
You have to wonder if that follows with them for their whole stage careers. That after RuPaul, something that they never thought before, they will carry that on throughout their careers.
Well, some have embraced the fame that has come with the show.
Right.
I know one person that it ruined them.
Who was that?
Remember the year that Sharon Needles won, the weird, spooky, stupid chick? There was another queen in there named Fifi O'Hara.
Oh, yeah.
They had an argument, and it wasn't just that argument. It was every argument after that, even during and I've watched it over and over again, because it feels too real. During the finale, the season finale of, I think it's season 4 or season 5. I don't remember which season. One of them. Look it up. Fifi O'Hara is confronted by another person that he said he was a good friend to, and then really kind of backstabbed them after saying, yeah, we're good friends. Funny thing is, and I've done research and looked at other stuff, the other people on that show and other seasons really went after him for what went on a TV show. I mean, and when I say went after him, set him up. You know, he's going to be at a gig and such, lip syncing or whatever, and they sent people they knew into the show to watch and interact and heckle and get him riled up, pissed off, in trouble, arrested, went to jail for 3 years.
What? Wait, who was this?
Somebody that I thought I liked.
On the show?
Yeah.
Who is this person?
What is his name?
Was it Sharon Needles?
No, it wasn't Sharon Needles.
Fifi LaBeouf?
No, it wasn't Fifi. Oh, God. He had a butt.
He had an ass. It wasn't padded, it was an actual ass.
It was the same year as Alaska and the other one.
Alaska Talks?
Yeah, Detox.
Detox?
Detox. Even admitted to the fact that he sent people after Fifi.
Really?
He had something to do with Fifi getting arrested. And that dude has since then put out a couple albums. Fifi, the same person that went to jail for 3 years, has gotten his career back on his feet, has put out music CDs, is doing better.
Wait,
he
which
went,
one? Detox or?
no, Fifi, the guy that went to jail, that got set up.
Oh, really?
After being in these horrible, you know, confrontations in a TV show.
That's all staged.
It's all really kind of staged and set up, and then got into so much trouble because he was just wrapped up in the anger that people felt towards him because of the character that he portrayed in the show.
Oh, yeah.
He did a 300, how many days are in a year? 364?
365.
365, 365 looks. He did a completely different look every single day on Instagram. Like,
That's
he's
impressive.
done so much.
Yeah, it's much like the Wicked Witch of the East. No,
Yeah.
the Wicked Witch of the West, right?
Yeah.
How she got typecasted into doing all of these witches and shows.
The actual actress?
And you know what? When she was walking on the streets, people treated her vilely.
You're talking about the actress from Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
Yes.
And because of how good she was doing a witch on that movie.
Yeah, it was believable.
That it was believable that was her,
Yeah.
the actor, in her wickedness, and
Yeah.
not the character she's trying to portray.
Right.
That ruined her career. She still had a career, but
Somewhat.
it was not that successful.
Do you know who helped her?
Who?
Mr. Rogers.
Really?
Yep. He had her come on his show. He had her put the hat on, show people how it's make-believe. You know how his whole thing is make-believe.
Really? He had to come in to
it
help
was
her.
Such a good episode of his show. Oh my God.
People are not always what you think they are.
Yes.
That was the premise of that show.
Yep.
And Mr. Rogers did that.
He had to step in.
He had to step in knowing that someone was being treated in the way that they shouldn't have.
Yeah. Yep.
Throughout their whole career. And
Yeah.
it's sad. That's just sad.
I know. It's been a day.
It has certainly been a day. I have been Zooming, taking pictures, going to post office to drop off paperwork for my my public passenger vehicle license, or H-class, which I hope that people in Milwaukee will get my forms and check that I don't have to do shit from this point, because I got everything what they needed. And hopefully by snail mail they'll get it by next Tuesday or Wednesday. Because, or unless they sort it out tonight at the USPS, it might even leave Monday to get there by maybe Tuesday. It's not that far away. When you really think about it, mail, for the most part, within about a 20-minute drive anywhere, you might be looking at maybe a day in the post office after you put it in, to where that it'll get to where it needs to go. Or if it's going to Missouri from Wisconsin, it might take you 5 days before it finally gets to where it needs to go. So it's not bad, actually. I don't mind going on an entirely different subject, just on mailing stuff.
Yeah.
When I mail stuff out, usually nowhere farther than Illinois or Missouri for my credit card statements, I can always expect it to get there within at least 3 to 5 days. And I mean, usually never having an issue with it, unless it was that one time during Christmas season where one of my credit card statements got stuck for 2 weeks on its way going to Missouri, which it would have taken at least 5 days. So it took 14 days before it finally got to where it needed to go, just because of the Christmas season, which I was not expecting.
Not just.
And also 2020. 2020 has a lot to play with that.
Sure does.
Because I've sent a lot of my mail in December, getting to where it needs to go almost on time. This is like the first year where mailing anything can happen. Like, anything can happen. Isn't that stuff good?
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I'm going to wrap this up.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to probably cut it, so.
Yeah.
Alright, well, this has been another episode of the Zooming Hoosk Podcast, and once again, I am your host, Dustin DaHusky.
I'm Kurdan Sourpuss.
A very, very loud Sourpuss. And we'll catch you on the next video.
See ya.
See ya.